Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's Tough Love Tuesday, and Coach Tracy Cromwell coming live to you tonight. And it was great just now, actually. Gotta turn off my email. There was a massive thunderclap. So, anyway, as y'all know, I record these live, and I am not in a soundproof environment by any means. And so, for those of you on the podcast and listening possibly for the very first time, we're live, and lots of stuff can happen when we go live. So, there may be more thunder claps possibly arriving at some point. So anyway, welcome everybody. Tough Love Tuesday tonight. Tonight I thought, gosh, there's something that's affected me in my life, and it still affects me on some things, but it's called procrastination. And so I thought, why not bring this up? Because procrastination can affect every single aspect of our lives. And as an integrated nutrition health coach, I'm when I start working with people, we look at all aspects of life, which again are the home environment, physical activity, health, fitness, joy, spirituality, relationships, finances, creativity, social life, career, education, and cooking. And procrastination can fall into all of those things. And so, I thought this would be a really good topic because I've definitely battled with it. I battled with procrastination for several different reasons at different times in my life. And so we're going to work on this tonight. And my hope is to give you some insight into why you might be procrastinating and help you figure out some stuff like that, and that get you moving on through that procrastination. And at the same time, all of this helps me because I'm still a work in progress as well. So I definitely procrastinate some stuff, and my close friends and family know what that stuff is. So anyway, I'm talking to myself as well this evening. So anyway, so defining procrastination is basically, that we're not doing what we need to do, but it's the action of delaying, postponing, or avoiding doing a task. And, we're all guilty of it at some point in our lives. And we all will have like a tendency to put off unpleasant tasks, things that we don't want to do. But what cost is that having on us, right? So, by procrastinating things that can, negatively really affect our lives. So all those areas I just talked about, our finances, our career, our relationships, all of those things, we procrastinate sometimes, then it can really, create adverse things, and outcomes. So anyway, we're going to talk about next the common signs and the reasons that we can procrastinate, and then how to get the job done. Whatever it is that you are procrastinating, how can you get that done? So there's the danger of putting things off. And so according to research, about 20% of our population are considered true chronic procrastinators. So they're the ones that just keep procrastinating everything. They can suffer from, this is really sad, suffer from broken marriages, lost jobs, deflated dreams, financial disarray, self-esteem challenges. So, this really serious issues. And, although we can think putting off a task may be, harmless, sometimes it can, lead to severe consequences. And, I'll put this in my perspective of my health. I just lost sight of it, and I kept procrastinating taking care of myself. I ended up pre-diabetic and overweight and low self-esteem. And, so for me, it was, finally, realizing I had to stop putting myself off over here on a shelf and actually start, figuring myself out, figuring out my food, figuring out why, my brain was thinking a specific way. So anyway, but, what I found was that there are there are many signs of procrastination, and the common signs are of a chronic procrastinator. So this is the person that's, constantly doing it, but you have a difficulty. Oops, my phone. You have a difficulty coping with changes and transitions. You're very lost without a roadmap. You're chronically late. So if you're someone that's always late, you're probably a procrastinator. Your to-do list is never ending, and you focus on non-essential office work instead of what needs to get done. And I notice when there's something I need to get done that kind of scares me or it's pushing me outside of my comfort zone, it is funny. I'll be like, oh, I need to do my emails first, or, oh, this stack over here needs to get done, or I think the cat needs to be fed, or something like that. So anyway, when it's something that's out of my wheelhouse that maybe I'm trying for the very first time, I get really, really, I'll find anything in the world to do, um, that I can avoid doing that thing that scares me. So anyway, common reasons that we can procrastinate. There are common ones, but also everyone is kind of different. We have different reasons for procrastinating, but this plagues me, and I've done a show on this as well, is the plague of perfectionism. So it's a fear of making a mistake, so you're afraid to step out, you're afraid to maybe speak up, you're afraid to try because you may make a mistake, and that's just so scary that you can't bring yourself to move forward to do the thing that you want to do or the thing that you really need to do. So you'll put it off for another day. I thought when I was a perfectionist, it was a really good quality. I've had to really learn to release that. It was good when I was in the construction industry and I was building houses, and I had to make sure I had the right lumber, the right, L brackets and trusses, all that kind of stuff. It was different mindset. But when I went into business for myself and coaching people, I really had to release that because the world's ever changing and nobody's perfect. And so, I think even to the extent of my perfectionism in my prior career, it would make me really distressed. It stressed me out. So, the perfectionism can be confused with having high standards. So, high standards are really good, but often, sometimes when we set them, they could be very unrealistic, and therefore we procrastinate. So, basically, procrastination occurs as a result of thinking such a standard will never be achieved, so why try? So if your standard is so great, why try, right? So, the other reason is fear. What are you afraid of? I did, I think it was just this last week, I did the fear and anxiety show. But yeah, so deeply rooted causes of procrastination can be fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, and that can be very crippling. And so, yeah, fear of success. Oh my gosh, what if this works? What if I'm not ready? What if I'm not, or what if I achieve it, but then I can't handle it and I fail, so your brain can just go crazy in that regard. And then therefore you procrastinate doing these things that you really want to do, or these things you really need to do. So for many of us, failure can be devastating, absolutely devastating. And this stems from the view of failure as a final result rather than just a stepping stone. That was something I really had to learn in so many cases. With my nutrition and my weight management, the thought of, again, doing another diet and I was going to fail again. And then that failure was, may put a brand of that I'm not worthy and I'm a bad person, so what I learned as I look back, each time I did fail, I had still learned something. And I had still had a stepping stone. And so as you progress in things that you want to do, those stepping stones change, and they, again, can make you afraid. So Failure is not permanent, but it can be seen as a permanent stain on one's reputation, causing self-esteem to take a significant blow every time an objective isn't achieved. So again, we'll take it back to weight management. Oh, she failed the diet again. Now she's gained the 10, 15, 20, 34 pounds again. And that's that fear of branding. That fear of that is so common, when we look at weight management. But at the same time, that fear is so great, even again in a business, just in anything in your career and your job. So, but on the flip side, we'll talk about this too, is that a lot of procrastinators are fearful of success. So again, it creates a lot of pressure. What if I can't handle it? What if, it works for a while and it doesn't? And then, oh my gosh. And I love my sticky. I've shown this before. Let's see if you can see it. Success risks ego only. So the ego is afraid of success. It's afraid of failure sometimes, and it can, make you procrastinate. So anyway, but fear is really, it's an ingrained emotion and can cause us to procrastinate for different reasons. And so figuring out why you do that is just a really great exercise, not because you're going to beat yourself up, not like that at all. It's more of a great learning experience, right? So then another one is basically, another reason is what we call lack of motivation. So a lot of times we think we have to be motivated to do something, but that's not true at all. So, I think many of us do a lot of things we're not motivated to do because we know we just need to do them. So we have to make sure we don't just rely on motivation. Okay. And if we do, then it just means we won't progress. Right. So lack of motivation really is, something that we don't want to look for when trying to achieve our goals for something. So let's see. Yeah. And so what can happen though, what's great is if you can not look for that motivation, but realize you need to do a task as you progress through those tasks. Let's say, again, I'll bring it back to food or fitness, that I did get up and I did go for my walk. And then that's a little feeling of success, right? So next day, oh my gosh, I got up and I did do my walk again. And then you start to kind of get motivated and you start to fall into like a habit and things like that. Here's another one, lack of interest. So we're all guilty of avoiding tasks that we just don't want to do. And so that could be, I love this one, changing a baby's diaper. I'm sure everyone's got lack of motivation with that one, but you got to do it, right? Filing paperwork. There's lots of jobs that we have to do. So what are other things you can think about that you just have no interest doing? Paying taxes, right? Doing your taxes. So a lot of people will procrastinate that to that very last minute because they don't want to do it, right? And I know of a lot of people who have to get continuing education. They'll wait till the last minute to get their continuing education, and they'll spend a whole weekend trying to get that done. So just think of things like, what is it that you have lack of interest in, but you still got to do? And that can really, by delaying those things, it can really, really, cause a great deal of stress. Another reason we'll procrastinate is distractions, modern day distractions. They get the best of me. I'm sure they get the best of so many of you. So email, like I said, if there's something I really got to get done that my gut's like, I don't want to do it, I fight that. Oh, I better check email first. Or I get caught in the rabbit hole of social media. If I have to go out and make a post and then there's a notification and I get down that rabbit hole, right? So games, smartphones, internet. If you are in the, able to go into your office now, sometimes it's just the gossip around the water cooler or gossip, in the workplace causes distractions, and then it'll cause you to procrastinate. So anyway, with that, those are just some of the reasons that we'll procrastinate. Again, it was fear, lack of interest, lack of motivation, fear of success, and perfectionism. But we can change that. We can change our mindset, right? So now these are ways that you can look at what you procrastinate and move through that. And I want you to know there are things I'm procrastinating that when I say all this, I'm talking to myself as well. so if you have a tendency to procrastinate, and it's related to perfectionism, we have to consider our mindset and that fear of making a mistake. And I think what's helped me a lot was even when I was wanting to do videos before, I would make the video, I would record it 8 million times. It wasn't perfect enough. And so they never got the info out. And so me doing live videos, I know there's no editing. There's none of that. I had to really get through the whole concept that everything had to be perfect. So fear of making mistakes, I know I'm going to make a mistake. I know something can happen, and practicing that mindset. So there's a book called Mindset. It's by Carol Dweck, Dwick. It's called New Psychology of Success. And in her work, she explains that with a fixed mindset, basically it means that your abilities are set in stone. And that used to get me. I thought I had chosen my career. I'm set in stone. I can't do anything different. So I only focused on, basically they're saying that she says that one will only focus on their current intelligence or talents, thinking more cannot be developed, or they'll make a mistake. And basically this mindset can really hinder one's ability to grow, learn, and make positive changes. And so she has a website called mindsetonline.com, but there's more there on mindsetonline.com. So again, it's that concept that everything has to be perfect. Things are set in stone. And I have been, guilty of that. Like I guess, again, I'll go back to construction, an old timer. Well, we always used to do it this way, and as I realized, I was well into that career, about 18 years, I was stuck in some old mindsets, the way things thought things had to be to make them perfect. And so anyway, mindset change. And then, facing the fear, what you fear, whether you fear a negative outcome or a fear of failure. So here are some of the questions you can ask yourself next time you feel procrastinating setting in. So these are some things you can ask yourself. So what am I afraid of? Why? You may not even think you're afraid of anything, but what are you afraid of? Why aren't you taking your health into, higher standard? What are you afraid of? First thing that comes to my mind, I don't want to give up things I love. I'm afraid to do that, right? That could be one thing. When you're in fear, what is the worst possible consequence that could happen? Think about that. Well, maybe it's really just learning something new, so figure that out. What could happen if I ignore the situation? If I continue to procrastinate and I continue to ignore the situation, what could happen? Why am I putting this off? What will I gain in the long run by putting this off? What am I going to gain by not taking care of myself? What am I going to gain by not looking at my budget? What will I gain by not learning how to cook at home? All these things. How often do people actually die from doing this? Well, if I start doing lives, I don't think anyone's died from speaking live on Facebook. So I love that one. How many people have actually died from doing this? So making a phone call that you need to make, launching a new product, doing what you need to do like that. And some of those things are things that I fear, sometimes putting something new out that, people may not agree with me on, right? But I'm not going to, die from that. So getting my brain to realize that it'll be okay. We're going to be all right. Okay. Am I trying to convince myself of something that is not true? That's a really good one. Am I scared of the process or the result? So this one I found intriguing. Am I scared of the process or the result? Sometimes, again, maybe when we want to get healthy and fit, it's the process that might be scary. But what I learned again through my journey was all the amazing things that I learned about myself, that it was so much better than I could have ever expected, and my fears were really um, laid in a mindset that didn't serve me, that just didn't know. So, am I scared of the process or the result? Here's a good one. Can I handle the outcome? Oh, that one makes me scared sometimes, makes me want to procrastinate because sometimes you don't know until you try, right? So you have to move forward in faith or move forward in trying. Um, let's see. Am I trying to protect myself from a certain outcome? That's a good one. So depending on whatever it is that you might be procrastinating, are you trying to protect yourself? And then this one's really good. Am I actually scared, or was I just told this was scary? So, am I actually scared, or was I just told this was scary? So, a lot of times we have just had put something placed into our mind. Oh, it's hard. Oh, that's scary. Oh, gosh, you don't want to do that. It's scary. And it's not even your mind process, right? It's somebody else's. So I love that. So if fear is stopping you, those are really great questions to answer. Another thing that can help you is, is listed out. So, if, if you have that to-do list, go ahead and list stuff out, but add specific deadlines to each task and then arrange those tasks in order. That will help you manage the workload. So one thing I like to do is, like, you can have a massive task list, but force yourself to figure out what are the top 3 real priorities. I write about this in my book, Your Personal Journey with Food, but what are the top 3 priorities really that you need to get done? And what's all the other noise? And then you pick those top 3. You also want to look at delegating. If you can delegate something, or maybe just something doesn't need to get done right now. Okay. Baby steps in your wellness journey, even say in your finances, everything, career changes, all of that. Sometimes it's just baby steps. So if you have a huge project, that's a massive project, you can back that project up, or do, say, here, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to achieve. What are the steps I need to do to achieve that? And then just break them down into baby steps and focus on those baby steps. Because by doing those baby steps, okay, you want to lose 10 pounds or 15 pounds. What do you believe you need to do to make that happen? So don't really put a deadline on those 10 pounds. I don't want you to do that necessarily in this case. Just say, okay, I know my lifestyle. I know the way I'm living now. What would a healthy person probably be doing every day? And then break those down into tiny steps. And as you complete each one, you can, again, that feeling of success, that feeling of motivation will come in, and confidence can grow as well. So we'll come back to removing distractions. So again, we talk about distractions. I have a hard time here. I work at home. It's so challenging. I know you would think it wouldn't be, but it is. And I can only imagine what it's like working home with small children. But I have 2 4-legged small children, furry creatures that can distract me. They're really good at it. Some of you have probably seen photos of the main one, the black and white distraction. Buddha boy. But anyway, so there can be stuff all around your home, all around the office. But I find it's good to, if you're in an office that's noisy, you can put on noise canceling headphones. Sometimes you may need to, maybe you're in a project, you need to just turn your Wi-Fi off, and put your phone on airplane mode and check out. If you have a couple hours, you just do that. Close your door. My case, the cats scratch at it like they're going to have a fit, so sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. If you have a bunch of games on your phone, get them off of there. And you can also block certain websites. So if there's certain pop-ups too, I make sure on my websites, I don't allow notifications to come across when I'm on websites to say, oh, someone's on CNN or NBC or whatever newscast. I don't have any newscasts, pop-ups, all of those things. They just pull your mind away from what you need to do. Tackle the hard stuff first. So the most productive people agree to get ahead, start your toughest tasks first. So when you complete the biggest part of your workday first, this gives you a big confidence boost. So that's first thing in the morning. Someone I follow a lot is Darren Hardy. He was the editor of Success Magazine. And he says this, most all successful people say this, do the big stuff first. There's a book called, I think, Eat the Frog, something like that. You just go in and you do that major stuff first, and then you move on. And so, but again, for me, sometimes too, I get caught in that darn, I got to do email. Next thing, 45 minutes are gone. That 45 minutes I could have been doing my more significant project. All right. So anyway, it does when I'm on task and I get in my office and I do the big stuff first, I feel so much better and I feel so much more relaxed. And then also, when you go back to that one question, is this something that I'll die from? My brain learns that I didn't die from doing my project. So anyway, so the feeling of being productive can carry you into the very next task, and having the hardest job complete, the rest of your work will feel easy in comparison. So one thing that's helped me too is really, and this will help everybody, is just if you're wanting to bring in a fitness routine, definitely put it in your calendar. Even if it's just a simple walk, get that done, get it done in the morning, 5-10 minutes. That's all, just to get your body moving and start that practice. And you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have to sit here and worry all day about going out and doing my walk or my exercise. I promise you, Tracy from the past would have been like, no way in the world am I doing that. There's no way. I'm just not going to do it. So anyway, it's just getting through that and getting that important stuff done first. So tackle what you deem is hard, and also tackle those big important things. When you do that list, what are the top 3 things, you do those things first. I love this one, the 2-minute rule. This one feels so good to me. So when faced with a task that you just really don't want to do, think of only doing it for 120 seconds. And all of a sudden it's manageable. No matter how tough work might be, the idea of facing it head on for just 2 minutes can relieve a ton of pressure. And so chances are that we get going, we can go further, but by saying, hey, I only got to do this for 2 minutes. So again, we'll take this to fitness. All I want you to do is 2 minutes. Go outside for 1 minute, go walk, and come back for the next 1 minute. Yeah, a 2-minute rule, because otherwise sometimes the projects are so big. They're just too big. Thanks, Gretchen. Yes, I do. I like the 2-minute rule as well. So yeah. And I think in fitness as well, some exercises, I know I can do it for 2 minutes, but don't tell me this one exercise, my brain will panic that I got to do it for 5 to 10 to 15. Sometimes that's just too much, but I can do it for 2. And so, and I believe this is we got a couple more. Hold yourself accountable. All right. So this is huge. Accountability can be a significant motivator or a demotivator when it's lacking. So creating the to-do list is enough for some people to hold yourself accountable, and then you check the list throughout the day to make sure you're completing the tasks. But, you know, another one could be, telling someone else what your goal is, what you're going to do, you know, that can, really hold you accountable. So here's what you can do. So take the task you've been procrastinating on. And again, like I said, you break it into small pieces and set deadlines for just each piece. Right. And then next, let someone else know that that's what you're doing. And that could be a spouse, parent, a friend, a work buddy, anybody. Let them know. And that will help you accomplish the task. I've had tasks where I've done that and I still didn't do them. And I couldn't figure out why. Why am I not doing this? So then I went through those questions. What were my fears? Was there something I just didn't want to do about it? And I realized in some cases, I just needed to modify my plan a little bit. So, if you can figure out why you're not doing it, sometimes again, that concept of holding yourself accountable. And lastly, no more excuses for any of us, right? No more. It's Tough Love Tuesday. No more excuses. So again, we're all prone to procrastinate, and it's up to you to determine if your procrastinating habits are getting in the way of your accomplishments. It's up to me to figure out if mine are harming my accomplishments or your health or my health. And we can come up with tons of excuses. And I tell you, a lot of you know my past. I'm really good at this. I am really good at this. I'm too busy. I'm too broke. I'm too stressed. It's too risky. It's just too uncertain. It's too, it's too. I'm too inexperienced. I'm too old, too young. Oh, this is just too disruptive. So, once in a while, yeah, those things might be true, but most of the time they're not. It's just an excuse. And again, it might be something that was put into our own heads, not even by ourselves, So it's really, really important that we examine our excuses and then ask ourselves, and you ask yourself, is it really valid? Or is there if there is a deeper reason for putting it off, do something like, if there's a deeper reason for putting it off because of fear, I want to say, you want to know what that is. But once you identify it, what's behind it, behind the procrastination, you can find the right solution and get going again. One thing that happened to me was I had a knee injury in 2005 from a snowmobiling accident, and just the healing process didn't go well. And so I was able to kind of get myself back to bike riding, and that actually helped basically save me and got me out of my pre-diabetic state, the fitness and all of that. But because of fear, I wasn't going back into other types of exercise. And this is before I was a personal trainer, before I was a wellness coach. I didn't know what to do. And my fear was so great that, like, I was afraid of hiking. I was afraid of walking downstairs, but I kept looking and he's actually been a guest on this show. I did run into a doctor who really helped me through that fear. And my fear of exercise was so great. He had a hard time getting me to jump off 2 weight plates with both feet at the same time. I was so scared of hurting my leg again. So I would procrastinate doing all sorts of things because I was so afraid, and I just need somebody to help me. And so, finding the right solution, that might be finding a doctor, might mean finding a business coach. It might mean finding just someone to talk to, all of those things. It might be just finding a good book that can help you through it. So being really resourceful is something that's helped me out a great deal. And so that leads us into, putting all of this into practice. So I'm going to say, here's your first practice in accountability. So I invite everyone who's watching, even if you're live, or if you're on a recording, or if you're on one of the podcasts listening. But if you're live or watching the video on Facebook or YouTube, and be courageous. What's one thing you are procrastinating right now? And, go ahead and post it in the comments. What have you been putting off? And then what's your plan to get started? So, whatever it is, if you want that accountability, just put it out there. I'm sure anyone watching this will support you. I'll definitely support you. Go ahead and do that. If you are listening on the podcast, write it down in a journal. What is this task? What's this thing you've been procrastinating? And what's going to be, your plan to get it started? And so, again, that's just that great practicing of accountability, putting it out in the universe. And, Gretchen, Gretchen's going to move to England, which I know she's doing. Well, those of you on the podcast, I'm reading comments in the live feed. But anyway, so so write it down and get your plan to put it together. Okay, so knowing that procrastinating is not about, really being lazy. It's just, again, it's about figuring out, why. And then, when we do allow procrastination, that's just basically we're allowing emotion to influence our motivations. So we can stop overthinking how much needs to be done and just start. Okay. Allow yourself to take the breaks, do those 2-minute, anyone can do anything for 2 minutes. And, just start tackling away. Oh, we have a comment. I've been putting off the work of deciding and executing on my next career move. I have to decide what I want and make it happen. Yeah, I've been there. I was in construction for many, many years. And that journey to get me, to where I am today in health and wellness was pretty incredible. But and I think there is just trusting that inner voice. I would listen to a lot of other people telling me what they thought I should do. And I realized that I just made it harder on myself. And I kind of knew, and just moving forward and stepping into it. So everybody, success is within your reach. I'm going to close this up. Thanks for joining me. So again, I hope you've learned a lot. I know, again, just teaching doing these broadcasts teach me a lot again. And in this aspect, I have my things I'm going to be working on as well, and I will put them in the comment. And then hopefully you've gained some techniques to help you through procrastination. So if anyone has any questions or want to add to the discussion, go ahead and go in the comments, or go ahead and message me with your thoughts. Okay. And you can always find out more about me and message me through my website, tracycromwell.com as well. So anyway, let's all get a hold of our procrastination and figure out why we're doing it, and get our stuff done. If it's health, career, anything, finances, yeah. We can do it. All right, everybody. That's it for Tough Love Tuesday. Have a great night, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Okay, bye-bye.